Just like that.
Hi. Hopefully people can hear us. Okay. Can we be heard?
Hi,
One.
everyone. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in for our Loki episode 5 review. It came out today. We can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Hopefully you saw it before you check out our review. If not, leave us a like. Leave us on mute. We want the views. But come back and listen to us later. So,
Absolutely.
episode 5 was out. We watched it. What did you guys think?
Go ahead, Big Vic. Why don't you go first, sir?
Okay, well, in episode 5, one of the cool
what you guys think?
Okay. Oh, nice, very nice. Okay, so now in episode 5, it was pretty cool because last week we all thought that pruning meant killing. And now we got to find out what pruning actually is. So this episode was very, very informative in the beginning when it comes to pruning and what essentially that means. I mean, pruning kind of means that you're going to die, but it doesn't mean that you're dead. You're pretty much sent to a whole nother place. And now that whole other place is where we get to meet all of these other Lokis. And one thing that I appreciated about that is that a lot of them had a very, very similar personality type. Even the alligator. That was amazing.
I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm glad you mentioned the alligator was kind of the star to me. Like, even though I don't speak alligator. I have lost my tongue in alligator. The alligator was incredible. Like, the alligator. It's a long story, Vic. I'll talk to you off air. But the alligator really took the show for me. But I really want to talk about classic Loki. I mean, like, one of the things I really did enjoy this episode. I saw it twice. I was able to grab a little bit from watching it from the first time to the second time. I thought this was a very fun episode. Like I said, the alligator for me did it. Classic Loki did it for me, and even Kid Loki. I mean, I was expecting a lot more from. I think he's called Boss Loki, and he just didn't like. I mean, eventually it was revealed how much of a what's the word I'm looking for? Beginning with T.
Badass?
Oh yeah, traitor. He was a
Wait,
traitor.
who? Kid Loki? Not Kid Loki.
No, Boss Loki, the Black
Oh.
Loki, Black Loki.
Okay,
I didn't
Black
want to
Loki.
say
Now I
that
know.
because it's yeah. His name is Boss Loki, but Black
You're
Loki
right.
was a traitor.
Yeah, I as far as
I am
the
allied.
alligator, I couldn't help but make like Peter Pan comparisons throughout the whole episode, even with
Ooh.
with little kid Loki, him being like the leader of this like lost boys of crew. He takes him to his like little underground lair, and it's looking very much like very kid aesthetic, like it's a whole bunch of madness going on in there, looking like, and even so much down to the crocodile or alligator. And the eating of the hand of the other Loki is giving me very much, Captain Hook, Peter Pan, and
That's
all of that
interesting.
aesthetic. So I couldn't help
That's so-
but make those comparisons. And the fact that
That's-
they were waiting for the woman, the Wendy, if you will, the Lady Loki, very much giving me Peter Pan. But I did enjoy the episode. It was really fast paced, very much in like the fantasy realm, more so than the other episodes. Like the other ones were giving me more like sci-fi to a certain extent. This one's giving me like epic fantasy, like Lord of the Rings type stuff, even down to the monster. What was it called? The hold on, I wrote it down.
I called him Mufasa. I forgot the name, but when I saw that, I said I had two names. First, I said, "Wait, they have Mufasa here?" I said, "They're really putting that Disney effect in here." And then
Elias. That's
yeah,
what.
it was
If
Elias.
Mufasa was bad and like trying to kill everyone, yeah, I guess it'll be.
If this was Mufasa who wanted his revenge on Scar, you jerk. Like this. First I said Mufasa, then I was sitting there saying, "Oh wait, that's the dust from what's it called? Fantastic Four 2. Remember, because Galactus was like that. So I thought it was actually pretty hilarious seeing all this.
You know what it is? It's the thing from Lost. You know, the smoke monster from Lost. That's what it is for real. If you remember that show back in the day, great show.
Look at that. It's funny that we're comparing dust to something. It's incredible.
It is what it is. But yeah, it was called the Alliath, and it devours matter and energy. And also another thing about the alligator, I thought it was interesting that they brought more of Loki's like mythical powers, because you know he's a shapeshifter. He's almost like a magician, if you will. So we got the shapeshifter aspect of Loki through the alligator. We got the the mystical, magical through the old Loki, because he mentioned something about he had this glimmer that was so powerful, and so he's really the I feel like he's maybe the most magical out of all of the Lokis.
He definitely is, and that's a good point there, because he even talks about. He says, no disrespect to you, my friends, but the whole knife thing, that's just not my thing. I forgot how he worded, but he pretty much is someone who depends on his magical ability and whatnot. And it's something that actually shows later on. I can't wait to talk about that part. But he's really someone who depends more on his I guess, how would you say, sorcery?
Yeah. Exactly. And we also get a little more taste of, Loki on Loki action, because him and Sylvie was really feeling each other, really had a connection this episode. And, when I was watching them, a couple things. I was thinking, I wish this was a different Loki. Like, I wish this was the Loki, like maybe after the Dark World, or, after some other movie, because thinking about Loki right after the Avengers, I don't see him being this, emotionally open and, affectionate. He literally gave Owen Wilson's character like a hug goodbye. And I couldn't see that from the Loki that we got in Avengers, where he was, about to make everybody fall to their knees type Loki. So I really wish that they brought it from another Loki, like a little further through the movies. And also, the fact that Owen Wilson's character was there. I know they mentioned that this is like for all the variants that were pruned, but we literally didn't see it. It was like all Lokis, except for I was thinking, like, is it just for Lokis? But Owen Wilson's character was there.
But you know what too, though? This area we're talking about, this apocalyptic world that they're in, maybe there was a whole bunch of other variants going on, and not just Loki's. But the story was almost like these Lokis always found a way to survive. Like, if you even think about the spot where they had like their own little hideout, like this own little, like, it's funny that the hideout reminded me of something out of Recess, where the guys who would like dig dirt and whatever. It was like this secret hideout and stuff, just exclusive to Loki's. And even then, if you think about it too, there was a scene where it wasn't the Titanic, but I just said, "Oh, look, they put the Titanic here," because it was this big boat, and then it was like a war boat or whatever, and then this thing gets wiped out by I don't remember the name, but I'm just gonna say Mufasa. Mufasa sits in and just has enough of it, and just Goliath takes this boat out. So I think there's been other variants on this planet. I was trying to think of another term for it, but no matter what, they've always been wiped out. Meanwhile, Loki's always found a way.
Yeah, so maybe that's why he's like the last remaining. They're all Lokis because they're survivors. They've mentioned something like that in the show.
Absolutely.
What did you think, Vic? Vic? We're having a little technical difficulties. Live show.
There we go. He's right there.
I didn't like that Goliath was just
like a smoke monster. It was Goliath with an A. Yeah,
I just didn't like that Goliath.
Oh, that's how you say it. Okay.
Cloud of
big cloud of smoke.
It's like a big smoke monster. Yeah, like a big cloud of smoke with a dinosaur head. I mean, I understand the concept of the whole thing. Like, oh, he's the one who kills all the matter. And I was sad when the old Loki got eaten by the dinosaur. It felt like they could have
done
something else
covered in.
Speaking of the old Loki, though, he was. If you guys watched our Let the Right One In episode, you may recall that I brought up a certain movie that changed my life at the time, which was called The Little Vampire. And the old Loki, the actor, was in that movie. He was the dad vampire, and he literally looks the same age. I don't know how, like, he's aging like a vampire. So this guy's aging really well. But I was just really happy to see him in Loki because I remember him from that movie. So shout out to The Little Vampire. Yet again, great movie. Go watch it. But we're talking about Loki today.
It's a great movie.
Great movie. Freaking Let the Right One In stole and told swag. Like,
hear my mic. Can you hear me?
But wait, did you guys notice the Thor sighting?
The Thor sighting? I didn't hear the Thor sighting. Only time I remember hearing about Thor was when the little kid Loki talking about he killed Thor.
Yes.
Where? Oh, the Mjolnir. It's in the Rebel.
Oh.
Wait.
What you say?
No, but underneath that, you see that jumping? That
See
little
what?
thing that was jumping? I don't know what it is, but they
I'm sorry. All you see is
we'll have to do some more investigation.
Yeah, because it was real quick. I saw the hammer, and then all of a sudden I saw this little thing jumping around like it was a roach. And then I just kept looking back, and you could see that.
Wait. You're talking about when they went down into the little hideout, right?
I think that's a Thor variant because it has the little wings on the head. If you really pay attention, you see like an old Thor in there just jumping out, trying to get out. Like, go back and watch the episode. And this is when like Loki is going down into a cave.
That's what I'm saying. That's when they were going to that hideout. They were going into that hideout. I know what you're talking about. They were going down that hideout. And there was something. There was like a little creature, but I didn't know what it was, but I know what you're talking about. That's when you said I was like, yeah.
Great catch. If that's the case, a great catch. I did notice like the when they were at the Time Agency, you know, they have like these big murals in the background, right? And one of the pictures I've saw before that people are theorizing that one of them is supposed to be Stan Lee, right? But in the same image, there's another guy. It's a black guy. He kind of looks like the actor from Mean Girls, the principal from Mean Girls. And in the other mural, there's this like I want to say they were Time Agency, like, you know, agents. They had on the gear and stuff. But one of them had like a very robotic face almost. And I was thinking, what was this supposed to be signifying here? I want to see if I can upload the image, but it was really interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
it's going to take a minute. So go right.
Oh, okay. I do want to talk about this. We were talking about the variants of Loki, but let's talk about, because in the beginning, you know, Loki's just confused. He's like, is anybody going to tell me where we're at, what the hell is going on, all this stuff? And oh my goodness. And as they are playing stuff and letting everyone know, you have Loki, or our timeline Loki. He said, why are we taking order from Kid Loki? What makes him so significant? Why you're the one with the horns? And as you showed more there, that's what made me think about, we need to talk about how Kid Loki, he's no joke. He's the guy who killed Thor. They were like, why should we take you seriously? He said, yeah, he killed Thor. And when I heard that, I said, whoa.
I think that's a lie.
Well, I think Kid Loki is about it. Both Loki was a liar. Like, he was talking about how he beat Thor and Captain America. Towards the alligator not only growled, but also said liar. So I think Kid Loki is really about that. I think Kid Loki is really about that.
No, but remember, they're all Loki, so they all lie. I think that the Kid Loki put Thor in that little box that he's trying to get out of. That's what I think that's about. I think so. That's why I showed that to you. I think because here's the thing, man. This whole thing is covered in swerves. We didn't think last week we was gonna see Owen Wilson again, and here we go.
Facts.
No, I figured we see him again after we knew Loki survived that. And let's even talk about Mobius, who was kind of a badass in this episode. Like he had the people.
He did what he needed to do.
I gotta say this, man.
Wow.
Wow. When he pulled up with the pizza, like God said, this guy wants me to watch. This guy gets me. He pulls up, saves Lady Loki, even tells Lady Loki, hey, you should really not like, I'm trying to talk like, you should really like not get in a car where you don't know strangers and stuff like that. I thought that was hilarious because I said, Mobius have a good point. Also, Mobius, for someone who has been in the Time Variant Agency for so long, it's great to know you didn't forget how to drive because he knew how to drive. He put his foot to the metal. He said, all right, well, we're going to do this. So
he did what needed to be done.
Mobius was really MVP in this episode. I mean, we give a lot of credit to the Lokis. I think a lot of the Lokis, and I want to give another MVP shout out to classic Loki, and I know we'll get more into that a little bit, but like Mobius, like Mobius really was in there. He was sitting there saying, even the stuff where Lady Loki says, let's go back to Mufasa, and he's like, all right, let's go. Wow, let's go.
Great impression. But yeah, he was MVP of the episode for sure. Him and the alligator, I guess, if that's you guys' favorite.
Oh, I love the alligator. I'm gonna get my tongue and alligator back. Like that was impressive.
He was with the shits. Like he was the first one to bite off the hand. Like he was about that action. I ain't gonna hold you. But as far as the mural goes, at the Time Agency, I found the image. And sorry, I was taking it on my computer. But if you look, the first person looks like a human, right? Then the one after, it's like a really like metal colored face. And you can tell because it doesn't look like the first face. It doesn't look like the face behind it. This looks like the freaking Tin Man in a military uniform. So I wonder if that is of some significance, later on down the line. But it's just something I noticed while watching the episode. But
that's a good eye. I didn't even really peek that. That's really good eye on that.
So there is one more episode left, I believe.
Yes.
One more.
It's a mini series. What are you saying, Vic?
There's one more thing that I noticed, right? They brought Thanos into this episode. But one thing that I found strange is that there was like an abandoned plane, like when they first got to where they were going. There was like an abandoned plane there, and then the plane had Thanos written on it. So I kept looking at that, and I wish I would have screenshotted a picture of that, and I kept looking at that, and I was like, yo, what? Well, what's that about? And then people started sharing the Thanos stories. I'm just like,
No,
I wonder if next episode.
No. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's so interesting because I did not see that. I actually made because I feel like because the thing Marvel do next to you said there was a plane, right? So in the comics, for whatever reason, this is before Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet and all this stuff. He had a freaking helicopter with his name on it. So I feel like that's a callback on that. Like I'll shoot it with you guys and the messenger and whatever. It's hilarious. Thanos literally have a plane with his name on it. Helicopter. You would laugh at it. This is the same guy who snapped his fingers and everyone turned to dust. Meanwhile, he has a helicopter sitting there saying, "Now rob the bank." It's hilarious. So I think it was a callback. I don't know.
They do a lot of those too. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a little Easter egg for the people who read the comics and stuff. But that was pretty much the episode, guys. Let us know what you think of Loki episode 5 in the comments. If you enjoyed the episode, what did you think? About the whole Thanos, with him bringing them into it? Just tell us your theories about what you think is going to happen in the final episode, which will begin next week on Wednesday. So let us know, and we will see you next week. See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Adios.